delay. I'm in a different setup. I'm in a different location, but we said we got to stay dedicated to the live stream today. Didn't want to reschedule it. We're streaming on maybe not the best connection, but let me know if there's any lag. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. All these things, and the streams are both up on YouTube, on Instagram. Just join in on those. If there's any connection issues on those sides, or if they're lagging, just let me know. I'll try and amend it on the go. But we're going to get straight into it today, guys. We got lots of people joining. What's up, Marcel, as usual?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you?
Very well, thank you. It's always great to have you on.
I love your new hairdo.
Sorry?
I love your new hairstyle.
My new hairstyle. This is the new style.
Yeah, you
For those,
did a
It's
bit
more like
shorter.
your style, but
for those wondering, I'm in Mecca and I completed Umrah. If you're curious to know, just search on Google. What is Umrah? UMRH. It's one of these small pilgrimage, you can say so. And we're doing it on the go. So track help does not stop. How was the latest video, guys? We put on hairpin turn. Did anyone watch the latest video?
I watched earlier. It was nice.
Amazing, amazing. We managed to get some good footage of a couple of drivers from our owner kart sessions we do back at our track. It was actually some DD2 footage, which is very nice. The sound of DD2 is excellent. I want you guys to stay tuned for a shifter kart video, which is coming out soon. So that's going to be worth watching. We've got some very exciting ideas coming up. Hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be completing the recording for that. What's up? What's up, Kareem? How have you been?
I'm good, thank you.
What's up, Rami? Welcome back.
Hello.
What's up, Valerio?
I'm good. It's a bit weird to be here since I've been on cards like once.
Amazing. Your first time joining Track Help?
Yeah. I've been watching your videos a lot though recently, like
That's amazing. And where are you joining us from?
Rome.
From Rome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I believe you shared a track for today, or a track map
Yeah,
for today, which looking forward to going through.
Yeah.
Kart Roma. How long have you been driving for?
I've been on cards only one time.
Okay. And at this track as well, have you been to Kart
No,
Roma?
I've never been, but I'm going soon in a few weeks. So
Amazing, amazing.
when I get ready for that, you know.
We're gonna come to your track map shortly. The way Track Help works, we're gonna spend about 15-20 minutes per driver, go through any questions you have, and then hopefully when you go out on track, you should be able to give us some feedback based on our discussion. We're gonna come back to you, Valerio. What's up, Adi?
Hello.
Welcome back, Adi. How have you been?
I've been alright, you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for sharing some footage from Camberley. How was it?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. In the morning, it was quite, the track was very like dirty. It was quite damp from the night before, so it was quite an interesting practice. But throughout the day, it got like really quick.
You know, whilst we're at it, I'm gonna actually just share the screen so everyone can see what we're talking about.
All right.
What this round is in the background that we can see.
I had one problem though, because for some reason, every session I had the GoPro on, around 6 minutes in, it would just get really shaky.
Ah, okay. Oh, this
really
is the new
weird.
mount, right? Remember?
Yeah, the NASA mount.
Amazing, amazing. So this is a fixed. It's not a 360, yeah.
This is just. It's like a rear view at the top. I just
yeah, technically.
Yeah.
I'm not able to actually zoom in and out.
Oh.
So that's the difference, I guess. Did you change like the upload file or something like that?
Export it, and you have to like make it in one fixed position, you know.
Gotcha.
So I thought, you know, front and rear will be fine.
Honestly, this is really nice. You get good perspective of how tight the
Yeah.
track is. Talk me through this. Is this opening lap
Yeah,
of
this is
one of the heats?
it just basically just was a start. This is just start of heat 3. I
Amazing.
think I started because I'm on novice plates. In fact, I just got off them. I started last,
All right.
but I'm off novice plates now. So, oh, hang on, that should be happening. But I made a few positions in the start. We get gapped a bit at the start, like first few opening laps, but then I worked my way up a little bit more throughout the session. And,
How did this?
And then at the end,
Yeah.
I get stuck
How-
with people. But yeah,
How did the heat go? Lap 3 already.
it felt really
You have a
well.
couple of places, yeah.
Like, I think my pressures were a bit off because it was like quite slow in the first few opening laps, and then it really kicked in, you know.
Mm. But you're confident with the track. Did you feel you had a bit more pace under you?
Yeah,
Fine.
definitely. I've tried a couple new things with the kart. So
Okay.
I've been messing about with camber and caster. What I found is there's a little mushroom clamp you can put underneath your airbox, and it keeps the
Okay.
carb like upright, so it can't bounce. And then the fuel is just going like it's not bouncing around; it's going directly into the engine. I found the throttle feels a lot more responsive
Mhm.
with the mushroom clamp on.
So there's no delay.
No, it's literally just straight away.
Wow,
Like-
wow.
It felt a lot like major difference.
Yeah. So, like on the corner exits, you were catching up to people, I guess. So
Yeah.
you weren't bogging down, things like that.
No, I was really good out the corners actually, and
Yeah.
even on the trolley I tried it. It was like wow, that was quite quick.
Can you share a link for that to me on the academy? I'd love to take a look at that part.
Yeah, right. It's just find one. It's just called a mushroom clamp. You can put a bolt
Okay,
on top.
it's just a generic part then.
Yeah.
You can sort of find it.
There's a thread inside. You just put a bolt. And
Amazing.
like
So what's the
put
idea
it-
behind it? What is it?
So you put a bolt on inside it, and then
Mm-hmm.
like put it underneath the airbox, and then you can unscrew the bolt so the airbox is like raised higher. Because
Oh,
you can while you're on the track, the airbox bounces around as well as the carb because they're attached.
yeah.
And then basically you can't move it, like it just keeps it upright in fixed position, so there's no room for it to bounce.
Excellent. Just whilst we were discussing, we had about 4 or 5 laps clean air now. So this is well and truly established your position. Is it P5 or P6 so far?
I think it's a bit further back. I'm not too sure myself.
Oh,
to
is
be
it?
honest.
Okay. A couple of guys in front.
Yeah.
You managed to catch them?
Yeah.
They are battling. That's
I,
awesome.
once I got behind them, because I just really couldn't get past because I couldn't do it. My logic was I was gonna let the person in front try and make a move, and then I'll take advantage of their move, just like following them through basically.
Kareem, you got a question?
Yeah, no, sorry. That was old. I forgot it. Sorry.
No worries. If you guys have any questions whilst we go over footage, be sure to ask, yeah? What are you thinking at the moment then, Adi? Sorry, Valerio, go for it.
I have one, but it's not related to the footage. It's
No
just
worries.
a generic question.
Let's take the generic questions after we
Okay.
watch Adi's
Okay,
footage.
okay.
Do you have anything
Sorry.
specific to his footage? Go for it. But we're definitely going to take your question, though, Valerio, after that. A couple of laps, that's it. You're behind them. So this is what's sort of going through your mind now?
I mean,
So-
I'll just really want to like get as many
Yeah.
positions as I can at this moment. I'm trying to,
Amazing.
like, because I'm really pushing at this point, so I want to try and catch
Yeah,
people ahead. Well, like literally, what I'm thinking is just get the people ahead. Just see what
Are
I
you
can
sort
do.
of analyzing where I'm quicker, where I'm gaining, and potential overtaking spots?
I mean,
with the back of
I'm
your mind?
thinking because there's not really many overtaking spots. Like it's mostly the
Oh,
straight
true.
and that little boot at the bottom because, well, everyone does mostly the same thing. It's quite like it's bit weird. Like feels quite tight. Like you can't really go any other line basically. Like, even though you have such a wide track, you'll just bog straight out the exit if you try anything else. So just hope
Are
I
these
get a
more
good run on them.
experienced guys? 15 and didn't catch the plate number in front of the.
It's 15 in front, yeah, and 75. They're both on experience plates.
Amazing.
Obviously, I'm still on novice plates, so by this point, I think I'm doing all right for catching the guys on experience plates when I'm a novice.
Definitely. Yeah. How many more laps to go?
I think there's like 3, 4. It's like they just do 6 minute. Oh, you can see where it gets more shaky now.
Yeah. What happened here then? Is it things got loose or?
No, I'm not even sure. I think it's something with the GoPro because the same thing happened in the final. First 6 minutes were perfect, and then it just became really shaky.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. But what else am I thinking? The
And
guy
it
in front, 15,
Yeah.
he's my mate. Basically, he's just had a fresh rebuild and a new exhaust, so he's got some exit. Basically, I was just praying for him to try and make the move on the guy ahead.
Yeah. You're not doing bad though. You're keeping up. I have to say. And this is it now, coming towards the end.
Yeah. I was so close. I was in my helmet, like, please get past him. You know, I was having such a fun time, and it was quite a shame actually. One of my other friends in Heat 1, he snapped his chassis.
Oh, okay.
The front right yoke almost fully came off.
How did that happen?
I literally just said it's out of nowhere because, to be fair, this is one of those tracks where you hit every curb, and maybe he just couldn't take it anymore. It's
lethal.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the join on the yoke is a weak spot of the chassis anyway, and that track, like Hamley, is known to snap chassis basically.
That was awesome footage. You couldn't get them at the end, but it's nonetheless some good footage from the front panel. You got to check out your GoPro. Though. I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, I was really annoyed at that. I was thinking, I'm gonna have such good footage, and it started shaking so much. I was like, what?
Yeah. The stabilization is off. And if anyone has some advice, leave it in the comments. They've experienced that. When's the next race, Addy?
I'm considering Forest Edge next weekend. That's the track I showed you last track.
Wow,
I think
very soon.
But yeah, so the thing is, it's going to be wet, quite wet, and I still need to buy like the wet clutch because like in Rotax, if I have one tooth down on the front sprocket, if it's wet, and I don't have that yet, and I'm honestly just thinking just to leave it for now, just save it for next time.
Interesting. Well, let us know how it goes, and if you got some more footage of wet driving, that'd be good to check out. I think we've only seen you in the dry. Would love to hear your opinion on driving in the wet, how you attack the wet, maybe even some wet tires as well, if needed for that day. Was there anything else, Adi, before we move on to the next driver?
No, that's all I got.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Adi, for joining.
No problem.
You can stay on the live meet or you can follow on the live stream. What's up, Leon? Leon, I missed you. I didn't see you there. Welcome back. How have you been, Leon?
Yeah, I've been all right. Thanks. You?
Very well, thank you. You got any footage you wanted to share for today?
I was looking at going to Team Sport Coventry, so I was just wondering if you could pull up some footage from there.
We'll definitely try and take a look at that. I remember Coventry, a couple of people requested on previous sessions. I'm going to try and take a look at that. We'll definitely try and go through some laps. If you have anything in particular as well, if you find an interesting link, be sure to share it, and we'll also go through that. I'm going to come back to you, Leon. What's up, Noor? Welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How have you been?
I'm not good.
Sorry, we missed you in the past couple of sessions, but it's great to have you back again. And we're looking forward to going through your track map. Hopefully the reverse layout, is that right?
The longer one that I sent in the
longer one. That's it. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to Valerio and then we're going to go to Rami, and hopefully we'll come to you, and then yeah, we can go through. All right.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Leon's got to go. No worries at all. Valerio,
Yes, I'm here.
let me just share my screen whilst we chat. How have you been?
I've been great, I would say.
You're
Yeah.
getting into karting. You know, it's always great
Yeah.
to chat with new drivers who just experience that passion for the first time. And this is the track that we see in the background. You had a particular question though before we go over exact.
It's
analysis.
just a really, really generic question that is, I don't think, as an objective like answer to it, but is it like too late for me at 19 starting like to look forward not career, but let's say like a growth in karting? And
Definitely not. I think it depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to be world champion, they just finished the world championships at the PFI karting track, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. You know, that's a long shot because those are some of the best drivers in the world. If you're looking to do it recreationally for fun, then, you know, why not? As long as you can establish a regular training schedule and you've also got the funds for it, because that's very important, you can fast track and quickly get good at karting and then build up your experience like that. Really, in karting, the more track time you get and the more competitions you can participate in, which are readily available in Italy, in a great country for karting, you can not only compete and gain experience, but also meet people. That's very important in karting as well. Networking, getting to know the right people who will advise sort of different races to join, or even have you on your team. So 19 is not too late at all. If you're looking to make it at the World Championship level, then we might be a bit late. But just for a bit of fun, for the general competitions, which majority of drivers in the world compete in, you're absolutely fine.
okay, thank you.
Karting Roma. So have you been here before?
No, as I said earlier, I'm going in like a few weeks there. I've
Gotcha.
only been in indoor karting track before.
Wow. I guess it'll be petrol carts, right?
Yeah.
Over here.
I've seen already the model of the cart if you want me to.
Yeah, if you can share that. And do you have a specific link for some onboard footage? I mean, I'll try and find some.
There is on YouTube. I've seen some,
Yeah.
like a few, but I haven't
We'll
really
take a look
picked
at.
any.
Yeah, I'll try and take a look through one of those. Firstly, before we do anything, and it's great that you're basically driving a new track for the first time, look at the track map and break it down into, I would say, 3 parts. 3 parts means 3 sectors. That's very common in motor racing. Do you watch F1?
I watch F1, yeah, regularly now.
Yeah,
I'd
so
say.
you hear the commentators say sector 1, sector 2, sector 3.
Yeah, I know about that.
The sector 1, all this. So basically what they're doing is they're just there's different I guess timing lines on the track. So in blue, I guess we start sector 1. You can interpret this yourself for any track. Basically around 3 equal thirds. Let's say our sector 1 is these first couple of corners. We'll then go into a pink line. This is going to be the second sector, second part of the track. And we can say that the final sector is simply the final couple of corners. So we'll put it in yellow.
Okay.
Now, break any new track into 3 parts. Now you can focus on individual corners. What you'll find is, especially when you go out and do more laps in a couple of weeks, you're going to be strong in certain corners compared to others. So you might say, well, sector 1 is quite challenging, but then sector 2 I find quite easy. And sector 3, the first corner is quite difficult, but the rest of it is fine. So then you're pinpointing where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. You can easily then make a game plan to continue doing good things and also look to improve on. Generally looking at the corners, in sector 1, we got almost a left-right chicane. It goes into a double, maybe triple hairpin, you could say, or even a right-left-right chicane. Depends how we watch the, obviously, footage soon to see the actual scale of the track. It then goes into a hairpin of some sort, into a left-hander. This looks quite medium speed, free-flowing. Another left-right sequence into the back straight, so maybe a chance for overtaking if you get a good exit, and then a typical right-hander for your final corner. Let's bring up some footage. How popular is this track in Rome? Is it one of the main tracks, Kart Roma?
I mean, in Rome there is tracks, but I don't know how popular this one is. I think it's one of the most popular though.
Yeah,
for sure.
I
Oh,
guess
and the
it's outdoor,
cars.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
outdoor.
go for it.
The model
The
should be
darts.
like TB 25 Kart, I think. It's called like that. But I don't know. I don't
Share
think
my screen. I think that's a CRG. Is it the same one as you see in this video over here? These orange.
I think they've. Oh,
No,
it might
I
be.
don't think it's.
'Cause, I don't know, because they've changed it recently, and I've seen the pictures on their website, and I was searching for it, and it should be
Gotcha.
a TB 25. I don't know.
TB25. No. Then I'll need to take a look at that. But just by looking at these current cards, this is from about a year ago. This footage looks quite recent. They're probably around 270cc car, single engine, but beautiful track. And what you'll notice is there's clear track limits. So when we have a track, let me actually just bring up my pen so it's easier to explain. Yeah, there we go. Whenever you have a big outdoor track like this, track limits are defined either by white lines, the grass, or curbs. So these are very important to pay attention to. You have, for example, turn 1, there's a white line and a tire barrier. That means that's the limit. You don't want to go beyond that. Again,
Okay.
second corner, white line, tire barrier. And now you're starting to see some curbs. These are the red and white. So curbs, they vary. Some curbs you can take. Other curbs you might want to avoid. It's all experimenting. But the idea is when you get out on track for the first time, try and be, especially on corner entry, on the outside of the corners. Yeah, set yourself up to have the easiest run. So the moment you start entering any corner from the middle or even from the inside, it becomes too tight. You have to start turning excessively, braking excessively. Wider you can enter the corner, more speed you can take, and the easier it is to corner. Turn 3, let's say this is, we got white lines as the track limits. Now, the inside of the corner, this is what we call the apex. So always try to be as close to the apex as possible. So from the outside edge, you cut into the inside part. Whether it's
I've already studied all like through your videos that have
amazing.
Yeah,
so you're
know,
familiar
like,
with the terminology.
Yeah, like the middle apex, late apex, track limits. I've studied a lot.
That's exactly what I want you to think about for each of these corners, basically. So if we bring up our track map now, corner by corner, think about where my entry should be. Generally, it's wide. Which apex I should take, and the apex is always dependent on sort of what comes next. So typically, if it's let's take this right-hander for example. Just by looking at the right-hander, I would say a wide entry. Let's put a yellow dot there. In terms of your apex, you don't want to go too early. The moment you go too early, you end up going wide. So avoid the early apex. Go for a mid, if not a late apex. So now the later you can go, the later you can turn, and you're then going to be set up towards the right-hand side of the track. And now you can plan ahead. Okay, my entry is now wide for this next corner. Probably go for mid to late apex once again for this corner. So corner by corner, always have that in the back of your mind.
do you think I should brake for that first?
Yeah. So great question. Braking, see, especially on a track like this, it's wide, but it's not so wide. So there are going to be a handful of corners you have to brake for. The main thing is, tighter the corner, more chances you have to brake. And if it's your first time going, be quite conservative, brake at majority of the turns. Then you'll feel after maybe 5-10 laps, hold on, this corner doesn't need braking. It might just need lifting. And that's when you can start replacing the braking points for lifting points. It's important though, whenever you brake, as you've probably seen from a number of the videos, make sure you do that early in the corner. And when you get on the gas, make sure it's before the apex of the turn.
Yeah,
this looks like a tip. Yeah.
That's something I was doing wrong at first, because I was thinking as rental karts, like I was like in the mindset like rental karts, like the same as, I don't know, like
a race
gear.
car.
Yeah, race kart. And I was like trail braking to
Yeah.
the apex the first time I went, and like leaning in the corner.
Okay. Right.
And I was understeering so much. I was getting so mad all the time because I was just understeering and I was forced to brake so much.
Honestly, trail braking isn't wrong, and it's encouraged with the more powerful car or kart you have. Problem is, when you're driving a general rental kart like you have in this track and in many rental kart tracks around the world, the more you brake, it just becomes unnecessary because it kills all of your momentum. And it's very important in this case, in these low horsepower karts, pay attention to the sound of the engine. So if on the exit of the corners, it's a very low and a restricted sound, you need to try to be on the gas sooner. You need to try and those revs higher. And it just begins with early lifting or early braking. So it's being a bit conservative on the entry, we call it slow in, and then able to get on the gas early to go fast down. Just by looking at a couple of laps from this driver's point of view, I think this is a really, really simple track. In terms of the flow, you got lots of space to sort of drive at. It's not too tight. And, you've got good chances to overtake. For example, this is the back straight. The lines for a typical right-hander is quite simple, wide entry. It looks like these drivers are taking this flat out. So wide entry, they're able to take middle apex. You can see this time, you can use a bit of the curb. Maybe not all of the curb, but at least half of it to reduce the meters on track. And then they exit the corner almost back wide. What you do want to remember is always which corner is coming up ahead. So sometimes it's not necessary to come all the way back out wide if you've then got, let's say, a right-hander coming up. Maybe just stay 3/4 away from the outside. So just in terms of the line itself, perhaps you might need to focus on braking for turn 3 over here. This section looks pretty much flat, maybe just feathering the throttle over here. I wouldn't do too much braking. Build your speed up as much as possible for the hairpin coming up here. This definitely is going to be one of the braking points. I don't think it'll be too much braking, maybe just a tap of the brakes. You can see the line this driver is taking. He's gone for a late apex. He's setting up a switchback on this driver. Whether he can make it stick, I'm not sure. But out of that hairpin, it looks pretty much flat now. Through the fast left, coming up the back end of the lap, maybe a tap of the brake somewhere here as it tightens up to the right. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
so I don't end up too wide to get a better exit.
Exactly. And you might experience a session like this where you're having to battle with other drivers. If you're going for best lap time, either pass the really slow drivers or back off and just try and find your own space.
Okay.
The main thing is try and have a good a planned structure of what you're going to do on track. So sometimes, let's say you book a session. How many minutes is the session at this track?
It should be like 15 minutes. I don't remember well. It should be like something around 15 minutes quali and then
Wow.
like GP.
Yeah. Excellent. So
Yeah.
you've basically got, let's say, a solid 15 minutes just to get the best lap time, and then after that, I reckon they do about 30 minutes, right, for the GP. You think it'll be double the time?
I don't really know actually.
Okay, well, plan ahead, meaning take a look ahead before you do your booking, and split the objectives in each session accordingly. So whenever you go out on track, avoid doing things in freestyle, meaning just driving and randomly doing things. I would encourage you take a printout of a track map. This is a perfect track map. Print it out and make multiple copies. And think about it. Each session I go on track, whether it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, there's going to be a clear focus. So whenever you start a track, generally make an interpretation of an initial racing line. So what we're going to do is, let's say, turn 1, I can probably take flat, turn 2 flat as well, turn 3, maybe I'm going to add in some braking. So here, let's just be clear, making some braking points. Then we're going to stay on the gas for turn 3, maybe feather the throttle over here as we go through the left. We saw from the footage, it doesn't look that technical, so you can get away by feathering the throttle, build up as much speed towards the back straight as possible. Another braking point over here. Let's go for a late apex as well. So corner by corner, you want to go for, where should my entry be? Should there be any braking for this corner? Where's the apex? And then where's the exit? So do that for the, make those notes on an initial track map, and then implement that on track. See if it works. What you'll find is some of the stuff you wrote on your track map works. Like the line is good. But then other things like the braking, you might say, well, there's no need to brake over here, and I can probably get away by lifting over here. So on the new track map, you just make those adjustments. And over time, sector by sector, you'll be able to refine your line like that. And keep it, consistent in terms of your analysis and things. After every session, just try and make a note. What did I do well? What can I improve on? Short notes like that. Over time, you'll build a record of how you've progressed. And if you can keep record of also your lap time in each session and which kart you drove, wow, then that's a game changer. That'll really help.
So I have another question, which is,
go for it.
When I brake, right, with karts, should I hear the tires like kind of scraping, like?
Yeah, that's the limit, and it's really tricky to identify what is over the limit and what is at the limit, because sometimes you can scrub the tires too much and you might not realize, but that's actually slowing you down. If you watch the top drivers in the world, and I encourage you to watch their onboards on YouTube, you can hear the tires actually scrubbing ever so slightly. What they do is they scrub it on the initial braking period, and then as they rotate the kart, then there's no more scrubbing. It's just back on the gas, they're out the corner smoothly. So make sure the scrubbing sort of happens as soon as you press the brakes, not after. If it happens after, let's say at the apex of a corner, or even just on the exit of the turn, that means you're just going a bit too fast or too aggressive.
Sure. And another question which I have about braking is, do you ever brake 100% on rentals, or is it really rare?
That's the idea. See, in rentals, it should be a short but hard braking period. So the brakes are threshold brake, that's it. So the brakes are only at the rear. The harder you press the brakes, the more the rear will rotate. So the idea is, if we can get to 100%, and you're able to control that response from the kart. See, when you go 100% on the brakes, there will be movement. And it's the driver's responsibility to control that. And it takes time to get used to. But what you can do, if you're just learning the track, ramp up the brake pressure. Start with 60%, on a couple of laps, then bring up to 70% pressure, 80%, 90%, rather than going 100% directly. Maybe you spin out then, and then you lose confidence. As a driver, you don't want to lose that confidence. That's very important.
Okay. And another few questions that I have. Should
Yeah,
I drive trying to lean out of the corner, or should I try to stay still, like straight?
Generally, yeah. Generally in rentals, you should lean out. It does help you with rotating the kart, weight transfer, and more than anything, keeping a neutral steer. So if you watch some of the top drivers in the world, their steering wheels in rentals, I'm talking about, barely move. So what they're doing is they're manipulating the kart to actually turn with their body weight. By doing that, you need to generally lean out in corners. Some corners require more leaning than others. So think about it. Tighter the corner, more movement is needed. Now, when you lean, try to do it into the corner of your kart seat. So you're not actually physically coming out the kart. No, there's a natural curve at the back of your kart seat. That's it. And you push back into it, or push into the side of it. And it might be painful the first couple of times, but then that just becomes part of the physicality of karting. So yeah, I'd encourage you to practice more leaning for tighter corners, and generally even medium to high speed corners. You can keep your foot pinned to the gas and manipulate the weight transfer of your body weight to hopefully go through those sections flat out.
Okay, and last question is,
Sure.
see, like in the first three, like hairpins, like that are like all like connected together. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen, and it doesn't seem like the track is too grippy. So would you recommend me to like turn more sharply instead of smoothly?
Definitely. Great question as well. This is just by looking at the onboard footage, we can confirm this is a triple hairpin sequence, which is a really good challenge, actually. Triple hairpin is not to worry, actually. Couple of things to note. The first hairpin, enter it as wide as possible, and you're probably going to have to brake. It's the tightest corner, the one you're carrying the most speed on entry. Get your braking done early. As you then said, go for a sharp turn-in. I would also add to that, sharp late turn-in. So the later you can turn, the later apex we can take. And now we've ended up on the right-hand side of the track on entry 4, the left-hand hairpin, the second hairpin in the sequence. Generally, your speed is quite low here, because remember, you've just finished your braking, and
So
now
my
you're
revs are
just
low.
yeah, your revs are low, so there's no need to brake again. If it's really tight, then maybe think about just lifting. But I would encourage wide entry. Once again, sharp turn-in. Lean your body out over here. So if it's a left-hand corner, you lean out to the right. Here we can probably afford to go for a mid to late apex. So something like this. And then at the exit of the corner, probably go for a late apex based on the overhead shot. So late apex, sharp late turn-in, and then end up more in sort of the middle of the track, a bit to the left, so you can open up the angle for this final hairpin where you take the shortest path possible. And it looks something like that. So the magic behind the triple hairpin is get your braking done for the first part, build up your revs, stay on the right line, initiate sharp turn-in for the first one, sharp turn-in for the second one, and all this time we're building the revs back up. So here, where my blue circle is, we're going to be at maximum speed because we just sacrifice a bit of time over here.
Right. So only one thing I don't really know how to learn here is breaking points, because from what I've seen from footages, there isn't really like something to rely on.
Yeah, reference point. There's no reference point for braking.
Yeah, there isn't really like nothing to look at in terms of reference.
Honestly, that's going to be normal for many tracks. And at the end of the day, it comes down to establishing a braking point on feeling. So you got to judge the distance to the apex of the corner. Whenever you tackle a corner, you'll always be able to see the curve and of course the apex if it's a curb or tire. The closer you get to it, the sooner you need to start braking. Further away you are, you can, you can stay off the brakes for that time. And yeah, it's really on feeling. Now, when you get out on track, you'll get that feeling straight away because it's in your senses. When you drive on track, you are vigilant about this kind of stuff. And I would encourage, start with a conservative braking point, so early in the corner, and then just make it later and later until you're overdriving, or you're going too fast, or you're going too deep in the corner.
Okay, that's really helpful.
I think that was a solid analysis of Kart Roma, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback based on the session that you do later. Is it in a couple of weeks you're going for?
Yeah, it should be the 14th of October. Should be
amazing. Yeah. So there's going to be a replay of this live session, which I encourage you to watch back just to refresh yourself a day before you go on track, because it's very important to do that close to the time. But really, just number one, enjoy the experience. Don't overthink it. I know you're doing a lot of background work, the theory you're learning in terms of the videos and things like that, which is great. You need those basics. But then when you get out on track, just enjoy it, and it'll naturally come to you in terms of the line, the braking, the apexing. That will all come to you. Then it's just about refining those small things, which having a copy of your track copy of your track map will help you at the track just by making notes before and after every session.
Sure, that was really useful, I would say.
It's been a pleasure, Valerio. Thank you so much for joining Track Hub. We look forward to having you in the future. You can stay on the live meet, or you can follow on the live stream as we're going to go to the next driver.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerio. Before we go to the next driver, let's just take a couple of questions we had. So on Instagram, we had Captain Awesomeness. What's up, Captain Awesomeness? He's a long-time subscriber. Do encourage you to check out his channel. He's telling me, tell me how you can stay fat and competitive with youngsters. That's a very direct way of putting it. I think that's why the weight categories exist in karting. So you don't have to worry about your weight. You can eat as much as you want. You can enjoy and still race against people in your own weight class. There's a very interesting category in the Dubai Kartdrome. It's called the 100 kg plus. So everyone has to ballast up to 100 kilos, and the race is at that weight. And for those who might be, let's say 70 kilos, they got to put 30 kilos in their carts. So there's a real handicap there. I would encourage you.
Can I just say something here? Because
go for it, Kareem. I know you had a question. Yeah.
And Dubai Kartdrome, for the SWS sprint races and stuff, they have the senior category and the masters category. The senior, the minimum weight is 85 kilos. If on that, great. If you're over,
it's generally quite high, right?
Yeah, but on the masters, it's 95 kilos. So either you put in 95 kilos, or you have to be like 35 years old or above. So you can actually be like 20, but you put in ballast, so you're 95 kilos, and you can race in the masters category. It's fine. And then they have the 100, the 100 kg one, where everyone has to be above 100 kg with or without ballast. So that's the next one, because it also gives a chance for the chubbier guys to have more of an equal playing field,
Definitely. And we've done extensive experiments. Weight makes a huge difference. And I think the more straights your track has, the more time is lost. Like the track I drive at, it's about 0.8 every 10 kilos. So it's crazy. It's definitely...
Like me, I have to put in like 15 kilos of ballast.
Does that affect you positively or negatively, the 15?
The thing is because they put it like in the rear left corner. That's where all of it is. I always try to put it as much towards me as possible, but sometimes, especially when the car has a bit of issues, it gives me just way too much oversteer. It puts in some oversteer into the car, but I think on the straights it's not that noticeable because the cars only get up to like 80 kph, maybe even 75 on the straights, or even sometimes 85. They top out at 90 because they're the RT10s with the GX390 engine. Yeah, the GX390 engine. So they're the 13.5 horsepower ones. So usually they're pretty decent or pretty equal. But yeah, it doesn't affect me much in the straights. It just affects me more in the corners.
Excellent, excellent. Well, ballast weight is always interesting because there's a driver who comes on track help, Jacob from Poland. He prefers to drive with lots of ballast weight in terms of the lead. He puts it in the holder, and he actually has the choice at his track to put it lead on the seat, which makes it more, I guess, centered. But no, he prefers to put it on the side, and he actually does really well in terms of handling the kart. In terms of his finishing position, the guy who I believe won the championship last year, he's naturally at 85 kilos, and Jacob finished second or third by ballasting on. So it's really about, I think, how the driver can overcome it in terms of their own style. It'd be great to have Jacob on one of these days.
Another question about the kart itself. What's like the big difference between the rental karts and the like proper pro karts, the ones that you race?
Honestly, it's the weight.
Like handle wise.
Yeah, it's the weight. So you got to think of a rental kart as being almost like a truck, and then the race karts are, these very, very small sports cars, you can say. So more powerful engine, lighter weight. So what happens is how aggressive you have to be with your driving changes. In rental karts, just to rotate it and put the kart towards where you want it to go, you can get away with being aggressive. And if you're too smooth, you're actually underdriving and you're losing time like that. If you try and apply that approach in a race kart where you're aggressive and all this kind of stuff, because everything is so finely set up and it's lightweight, everything moves a lot easier. So the steering wheel is very sensitive in a race car compared to a rental. The moment you try and do aggressive inputs and things like that, it's going to give you a lot of oversteer, it'll unsettle the balance, and then even alignment as well. Think about curbs at an outdoor karting track. In rentals, you can be quite aggressive, especially kartdrome, right? A lot of curbs.
No, you
do
not want to touch the curbs most of the time at kartdrome. They are way too aggressive. Like even if you get on it, it physically hurts your hands to be on it.
Right. They've changed that over the years according to different driving standards. But other tracks in the world, people are aggressive on the curbs because you have to, or you gain time like that. You try and do that in a race car, wow, the alignment will be off. You have to go in the pit lane, adjust some things. So think about a race car being very smooth driving, but also on the limit, because you watch the top guys, like their braking is almost spot on.
Yeah, they're not turning, they're just steering with their pedals.
Exactly. But then in rentals, you can see a lot more leaning, a lot more aggression, riding some of the curbs as well, things like that. And also at the end of the day, rental means you're renting the car. Own a car means it's your own, so you're going to treat it differently.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's very true.
Mine,
I've seen
own
a car
so
drivers.
My dad doesn't kill me, because if I crash the car, that's it. I'm done for.
Absolutely,
but
absolutely.
In a rental car, if I crash, it's fine.
We got a question from JJ on the YouTube chat. Basically, my question is: right now, just follow the lines. Brake, release, turn, accelerate. How do I advance from this? thinking about it, don't know how to advance from here. Yeah, what you've described there is the fundamentals of a corner. And what you now want to do is think about, how late can I brake? Can I carry a bit more entry speed? Obviously, the factors over here are the kind of kart you're driving, the kind of track you're driving at. But once you establish an initial braking point, a good line through a corner, then it's about, how can we get closer to the limit? Now, the limit is found where you're not drifting excessively, but it might be neutral steering through a corner. What you don't want to do is underdrive and be too smooth and conservative with your inputs. So he's saying, I'm at the max where right now I'm at the max where I am right now, as mentioned earlier in the comment. Yeah. So if you feel you're at the max, I would recommend drive with some other quicker drivers. Now that's normally found during competitions, or at peak times at the track. Regular drivers, they normally come as groups, or they might have some events at the track. Drive with them and see what the difference is in your driving compared to theirs. Are you keeping up with them? Are they gapping you on certain corners? Are you catching up to them on certain corners? Then you can identify which corners you truly are at the max at, and which ones there's a bit of work to do. And based on that, then you have a chat with them. You speak to the quicker drivers on track, and they'll tell you, well, I'm doing this and this technique for turn 1 and 2, and I'm doing this for turn 5. It's all about finding the limit by comparing yourself with other drivers. Let's just have a quick brief check before we're going to move on in a second. We've got Jibril from the chat. So I believe Jibril, that's JJ on YouTube. That makes sense. Quick thing, guys. If you'd like to join this chat, if you'd like to join this discussion, we have it every week, currently on Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT. Now, we're looking to accommodate the Southeast Asian viewers, those of you who are from Malaysia, Indonesia, India, Singapore. There's loads of you guys, but at the moment, I believe it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. So we're going to try and do a Saturday morning session, hopefully starting from next week. The idea is, once you're admitted in the academy, it's free to join. You'll have a couple of pin posts. You'll have the track help post, which you can see over here. Submit a YouTube link or a track map that you might want to go through, and we'll go through it with you. You can find attached the latest ebook. This is the 2nd edition, free to download as well. Be sure to leave your reviews over here. It's a much more expanded version, a lot more key information there. And then be sure to introduce yourself. So on the academy, you're going to see drivers from all over the world. Think about this is like being part of a global karting community. So any questions you have, be sure to leave it over here. Share your karting wins, share your karting questions, you share your karting experiences as well. Additionally, like I was discussing with Valerio, we've also got a Go Kart training program. Now, the training program is one-to-one coaching. So it's a systematic way to get your fastest lap time in 4 weeks. And we'll provide you with a tried and tested methodology, which will not only help you master your track, help you go to that next level and be one of the top drivers. As I said, all of that will be done in 4 weeks. We've got good resources to support your learning, such as number of video lessons. We've also got a textbook, and more importantly, one-to-one coaching session at the end of each week, so we can review your progress and plan ahead for the next. Let's go ahead to Rami. What's up, Rami? You still there?
Hello.
Awesome.
Hi.
Rami, give me 1 sec. I just admitted Saad. What's up, Saad? Welcome back.
Yo, hey.
How's it going, Saad?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you have any footage you wanted to share for today?
I actually do. I have some really old footage from the beginning of this year, from a random round.
Amazing, amazing.
From a track where it was 4th place, but I feel like I could have done better.
Awesome. Let's take a look at that, actually. If you can share a YouTube link, What I'm gonna do?
Yeah, sure. I think I have a friend that drove it. It's not my POV though,
Yeah.
because I still didn't have time to upload it.
No worries, no worries. What you can do, share a link to it on the Academy page or in the Google chat over here. I'm gonna go to Rami. I'm gonna go to Noor right after that, and then we can come to your footage. All right.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, Rami. We've got.
Hi.
We've got some footage of yours in the background. This is actually some sim racing. Before, well, as I shared the screen of that, Valerio, he asked, "How do I pick a good kart?" You're gonna have to be regular at the track. Let me be honest. You have to get to know the marshals there. You can start having a chat. So the marshals are obviously at the track every day. They're on top of which karts are good, which karts need maintaining. And once you get to know them, you can say, guys, which kart is good this week. And generally they'll tell you, well, kart 17 is good, kart 21. Just by being regular at the track, you can find out which the good karts are. Otherwise, it's purely on luck. I'd encourage you, though, the first few times to just take a random kart each time. Don't take the same kart. Request the marshals, give me a new kart every session, because the law of probability is you're eventually going to get a good kart. So don't worry. Rami, we got some sim racing footage over here. Is it Assetto Corsa?
Yeah.
Talk me through this. This is Nürburgring. In which car?
It's pretty sure Lamborghini Huracan. Yeah.
Wow! Wow!
It was just an
online race.
Open lobby. Yeah, open lobbies. Very fun.
This is a really good move. We're gonna watch it one more time. How did you set up this move? What are you thinking about during this overtake?
So here I noticed that he was kind of not picking up the pace and he went wide. So I did not know when he was gonna brake. So I just went on his inside, and I got the chance to late breaker. I braked later, and I just got the move done.
Yeah, look at this.
Yes,
into the heavy braking point. A dive bomb, you can say, yeah?
Yeah.
That is a nice move. So actually, if you look back, driver in front is battling with the car in the green and yellow.
So I took advantage.
That's it. So here you're staying on your line. You can see here, this is the power of letting the guys in front battle. You stay on the line. Within one braking point, he's got onto their bumper.
Yes.
The two are side by side, get obviously off the line, and that continues for them coming into the right-hander. Watch I think it's Audi, right, over here on the right. He has the compromise line. So coming out this going onto the back straight, he's going to be bogging down. Now, in the slipstream, to be fair, he's pulling away on the straight. So you think, is the move still on? Is it on? But you go really deep on the brakes. When do you decide you're going for the overtake?
I started a tenth later than where you are.
Wow. So about here, you decided, I'm going for it. It's all about accuracy and precision in overtakes, because when you commit to a decision like now, you then have to trust the driver in front is going to give you that space. You might not brake check. Is he going to squeeze you? But this was very, very clean racing and a very well calculated move. If you notice, you stayed pretty much as much on the line as possible. You can see the green marker is the preferred racing line, and that's the best kind of move you want to do. How much can you stay on the line and lose as less time as possible? The moment you start going side by side with someone for too long, and they defend in one corner, then you can see the position again. The gap to the guys in front will open up a lot. How often do you do Assetto Corsa? Is that your main game you do sim racing on?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mostly race on. I mean, the other day we were doing a test run just because we had a race, but it got cancelled because of reasons, political reasons.
Yeah, hope you do well. I remember you're from Lebanon, right?
Yeah. We had to
Hope all is well.
cancel many
Keep it
races.
up.
Yeah.
We're always praying for peace, and the main thing is we want you to stay safe. But times like this always remind me of how the motor racing community came together during COVID. Because in COVID, the whole most of the tracks in the world were closed. Everyone had to resort to online racing, and it became very big a couple of years back then. And that's where people started investing in sim racing setups. People were investing heavily into different games. And it'll be interesting to, since you got a Assetto Corsa, is it PC version you got?
No, it's playing on the PlayStation, a simple game plus
Gotcha. Because if you have the PC version, there's a couple of guys who are doing mods, and they're incorporating rental karts, race karts, proper tracks in the world. But it's PC, so that's the only downside.
Yeah, and they have specific rules to enter. Not a open lobby. I can understand them. You have to have a pack, an intercontinental GT pack. I don't really understand. So I'm just doing some open lobby races and some Lebanese sim racing championships.
Yeah, that's awesome. Keep it up as much as possible. That's the way to go. And at least when you get out on track, it's just about you'll be fresh, you'll be warmed up, kind of thing. When are you planning to? Yeah, go for it.
What was your question? You could
go. When are you planning to get out on track next?
So I was supposed to go today, but I forgot my shoes. I was wearing some.
Okay.
I was in the beach, but so I'm thinking maybe this Saturday. I don't know.
Amazing.
I have lots of footage, but
yeah,
I still didn't plug it in. I keep on forgetting.
So is that a GoPro you got?
No, the body camera I told you about. Turns out it was very good, very stable.
Amazing. It's POV footage of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be good to see. Because I think so far we've just seen offboard of yours. So it'll be nice to go through some of the footage that you've got there. Was there anything else, Rami, before we move on to the
No,
next
I just want to say thank you so much. After doing these track meetings, I have improved by 3 seconds, maybe 4.
Wow, that is amazing, and I'm really happy to hear that. That's the objective of these track help sessions, to get you guys faster. And I think there's a bit more time to find, especially if we have some onboard footage of you, which
and
soon
also I've learned lots of racecraft. You've taught me lots of wording, like Apex inside, and I've learned lots of overtakes. I had the decision to make that overtake or a switchback, let's say.
Honestly, it's through experience, and the more familiar you get with these different races, whether it's online or in person, it all relates. A dive bomb is a dive bomb. A switchback is a switchback. Putting somebody under pressure, dealing with pressure, it's all in racing. So keep it up. That's what I can advise.
And when's the Mini Karting Championship?
Mini Karting Cup is going to be end of December. It's going to be the week of the 18th, and there's going to be a live stream like there was last year. So we're definitely going to share the live stream so everyone can follow on the academy. Also try and do some behind the scenes footage. That's what was unfortunately missing from last year, because we did the whole behind the scenes filming, but the mic that we used did not shield the wind noise. So in the key moments of all the great footage is just all this wind noise, and you couldn't hear anything but this blowing noise. So we're going to have that fixed for this year, not to worry. Thank you so much, Rami. It's been a pleasure. We're going to have to move on to Noor. I don't want my battery to die. We're hopefully going to get through Noor and Saad before we finish off today. How have you been, Noor?
I've been good.
Awesome. I understand you got a personal best last time. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. What was your one of your first sprint races you did?
It wasn't. I've done that track a few times, and it wasn't my first sprint race. No, I've done. So it's my second league this summer. But I was used to that track, so I practiced it. And
amazing. Trying to bring it up over here actually. Do you know where you posted it? Is it on the?
It was on last week's.
Gotcha.
last
Let me
week's-
just try and bring that up right now. 22nd September. Let's go for it. All right. There we go. Let's just download that real quick. Just remind me of the name of this track again.
Amigo Karting.
That's it, Amigo Karting. Great name.
Yeah.
And there we have it in full screen. So talk me through these two layouts then. It's an extended version we got.
Yeah, so I'm used to the one on like the left hand side portion. I'm used to that. But they're thinking of like adding the second part, which is like, yeah, so you'd go straight and actually into, they said into the pit.
Oh,
If you
okay.
scroll up.
So
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah. They
So
said kind of like
you-
make sure like
Sorry.
drivers slow down.
start over here,
Yeah.
then go straight into the pits.
So not that one, the other one, the other side. So
Right and
straight,
left.
straight. Not that one yet. Not yet. No, just straight,
Sorry.
and then the first. Sorry, the third left. Straight.
Over
That
here.
one, yeah.
Wow.
In, and then, yeah, out, and then straight, straight, and then yeah, you're doing the track.
Amazing. Look at this. Wow. Then you come back all the way down.
Yep.
Wow, that must be high
That-
speed.
This one exactly, and that first one.
Oh, into
and then you're
there.
gonna go back up.
This
and
is
then
the
do
old
the-
track again.
Yeah.
What a so how much slower is this in terms of lap time? Do you know the
I think he's I think he said like it's, I want to say a minute, and like compared to that, so the one on the left hand side, I think people can do it in 35, I think.
Okay.
So that full one I think is a minute, I think.
A minute is
From-
always that's always a great reference to have. Now, when it comes to a new layout, this part that you know will stay the same. And in terms of this, I'd keep that all. It's working for you. It's working well. What we really want to focus on is these new parts. The main thing is, do you think there's any footage of this new section?
I don't
on
think
YouTube?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually
Looks quite
that
unique.
other track is closed off for like, so they call the regular track super karts, and then the other track go karts. So the go karts go 40 kilometers an hour, and the super karts
Excellent.
go 70 kilometers an hour. So that track is not usually open to the public, and so it's just like it's just for like league racing.
No, that's completely fine. And if you do have any footage or any links, just be sure to share it. But I want to mainly go over the line for a couple of corners, which are interesting on this layout specifically. And what you'll notice is I flipped it. So let's say we're coming down this main corner. You haven't driven this yet, have you?
Nope, I haven't.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's why.
It'll be interesting to see if this first corner can be taken flat. Probably need a bit of a brake. That's what I assume, the amount of speed you're carrying. It basically becomes a fast right-hander. So maybe get your braking done nice and early. I'd go for a slightly later turn in. And instead of going out, in, out to something like this, that compromises your entry for the left, which is coming up. So think about late apex and staying on the right-hand side, middle to right-hand side of the track. So you can prepare for this difficult sequence. It's a left, tight right onto the back straight. So here you're probably going to need either a lift or brake. Let's say it's a brake, just to be conservative initially. Early tap of the brake, sharp late turn again. So what you don't want to do is turn too early and then end up going too far on the right side and exit. Sharp late turn, stay to the left, and then flick the kart to the right. Hug this right-hand side, come back out wide. So it looks like there's two initial braking points. The first one is going to be a lot more than the second one. Wide entry, late apex, stay on the right-hand side. More we can stay on the right-hand side, easier it is to set up for the left. Stay to the left so you can open up the angle for the right and then get out of there. What you can do is probably think about experimenting a lift only after a few laps at this corner. But, you know, be conservative first and then sort of go for more speed through that turn. The next sequence is what comes up over here. And this sequence is always going to be challenging. It begins with the long straight, which is going to be flat out. However, placement of the car is crucial. So you exit the corner from the left down here. I'd start veering off to the middle and then eventually to the right. So then you can go from the outside, cut to the inside, and here stay left for the upcoming sequence. So outside, inside. When you stay to the left-hand side, you're preparing for what's coming up. And it's a chicane into a hairpin. So chicane is basically a right, left-hand corner, and then you've got your U-turn over here, which is a long hairpin. How would you tackle this? What would you do? Let's say for the chicane.
I'm not sure.
I think you
actually.
can. You know what you can do? You can actually. I just want to see your interpretation first. If you go into the share screen part, basically where you're looking at the screen, you can see maybe a blue writing symbol, a blue square with a pen in it. I might have to actually admit you to annotate. You know what? Let's try this. 3 dots, add as code. Yeah. Now you should be able to go over it.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see how this comes up.
I might do middle for both. So, and then,
interesting.
But then there's this third one, I guess, that's really wide.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What would you do for the third one?
This, and then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks. Would you brake for any of these corners? Lift? What? Just based on the look of it.
Knowing me, I would brake, but probably.
Which one would you brake for?
This right here, I would brake. Then the rest maybe lift. I might brake here somewhere.
Yeah. Amazing. That honestly looks pretty close to how I'd do it. I'm just going to remove what you've done over here. Can I somehow clear all? Actually, we're going to use this regularly with some other drivers. That worked out quite well. Are you on an iPad or laptop?
I'm on my laptop right now.
Okay. It was quite easy to draw, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I would do something very similar. First of all, my entry would be wide. What my objective is, I know I've got immediate left, right, left chicane coming up. For this hairpin, I want to be entering it either in the middle or wide. So that's going to dictate the line I take for the chicane. The line I take will be from the outside edge, sharp turning. One more time. Sharp turning, mid to late apex for the first part. Now the second part of the chicane, make it as straight line as possible. So you flick the kart to the left and either stay in the middle or slightly to the left. And then, as you said, you're set up to take this hairpin either a late apex or a middle apex over here. Really depends.
Okay.
I reckon the wider you take it, so the yellow line is if we approach it in the middle. The blue line is if we turn in early, stay left, And then now we're able to skip the early apex, skip the middle apex, and then go for a late apex, something like that. Experiment the two lines. Now, you mentioned about braking. Definitely, I would brake for the first part. The second part, so you got to remember your speed is going to be low here. You're still building the speed back up.
Mhm.
One sec, let me plug in this charger. Building the speed back up for the mid part. Potentially a tap of the brake or a lift at the second part, just for rotation, as you mentioned.
Mhm.
So that's really how it's going to look. And I'll actually highlight that. So brake definitely over here. Slow in, fast out. And then this part, maybe a small line for braking. Eventually can convert that to a early lift. Now, the next couple of corners, I think, are quite straightforward. We just zoom out. Yeah, we'll flip it actually this way. So now we've come out of the chicane and the right-hand hairpin. We're going down hill, let's say. All about placement of the cart over here. Really, this middle part, try and take it as straight line as possible. So there's all these small kinks in the road. There's one over there, one over there, one over here, one over here, one over here. So what you want to do is from each yellow line, make it as straight line as possible. And that is like the shortest path, if you can see like that. So avoid, sort of going wide and then coming here and then going there. Just straight line, minimal steering input. Similar to this part of the track, which you're going to eventually come to. This leads to a hairpin. And because you're carrying lots of speed coming down here, it's definitely going to be braking point. Whenever you have a hairpin like this, which leads on to, I'd say this is a long straight. It's important to go for a late apex. So pick your mark for braking. I don't know if there's going to be a clear reference or not. From the overhead shot, it just looks like there's tires. And actually the tires sort of end at one stage. So maybe you can use that as a reference. As the tires end, I can start preparing to brake. So it's going to be a heavy braking point from the outside edge. Hard brake. Before the apex, get on the gas. I'd go for a sharp late turn. So skip the early apex, skip the mid apex, and cut right towards the end part over here to hit late apex. Carry that speed with you coming up the hill once again. And that is basically the second part done. So basically, to recap once more, the first corner is going to be a fast right-hander this time. We said that it requires a bit of braking early in the turn. Late apex, stay to the right-hand side of the track. Stay to the right-hand side of the track to flick the cart to the left. Stay to the left as it's a left-right sequence. And then you come all the way back up the hill again. Is it a hill? In real life?
Yeah, it is.
It is, okay, so it makes sense.
Going downhill.
Awesome. So we're going up the hill over here, flat out. Placement of the cart, as we said, try and stay wide. For this mini kink over here, flick the cart to the left and then stay left. Reason we want to stay left is to prepare for the left-right chicane into a hairpin. The first part of the chicane, brake. Brake early as well, slow it down. Get onto the inside curb, mid to late apex. Flick the cart to the left as you power out of the second part of the chicane. Either stay in the middle. I'd actually say, you know what, stay wide when you're first doing the initial laps.
Okay.
Make this easier for you, the angle of the corner. You might have to apply a lift or a brake just to get rotation in the cart. Generally go for a mid to late apex. Carry that speed with you as we go downhill. Placement of the cart once again. Just try and take the straightest path possible, minimal steering input, into a heavy braking point. Pick a reference point here. As we said, it could be as the tires end on the right side. As you get closer to the end of the tire wall, heavy braking, sharp late turn into a late apex. Carry all that speed back up the hill to complete the lap for the remainder portion. And what I'd do is implement this line, new line we discussed for the new layout, keep everything else exact same as you're doing. Then we'll have a benchmark lap time. It might be 1 minute, 1 minute, 5 seconds, whatever it is. Then you can play around. Okay, corner by corner, I'm going to change one thing at a time. Might change the line for the chicane. And the next time I'm going to change the line, maybe for the second part, one of the hairpins over here. Then you can really see which part you're gaining or losing at.
Okay.
Was there anything else? Any other questions about this track layout? You wanted to go over?
Not about the track layout, but just I'm wondering, like, how do you? Because there's some tracks that you just see for like the first time. You have like 7 minutes to practice it, and I'm just wondering, like, what strategies you use to get like the race line, like once you just see the track for the first time, or you're on it for the first time.
Great question, especially when it's time limited. You can't have the flexibility of, going for slow laps and then going faster and faster. Although I would take an out lap just to feel out the track width. What I would do though is try to follow someone experienced. Now it's difficult to say, okay, this guy is definitely experienced in things, maybe by the looks of the helmet, or you just generally know they're more experienced. They have an idea of the line, and what will happen is the more you can tag on to them, the easier it is to just get into the flow of things. They're almost like a reference or a guide. So if you're alone on track, then you're trying to figure out everything by yourself. Okay, is it a right-hand corner coming up? Is it a left-hand corner? There's someone just in front of you. You can easily gauge that, okay, there's a right-hand corner coming up. Oh, he's slowing down. I probably have to brake there. He's turning left now. I've got to prepare to turn left. That especially helps in that initial portion. You don't want to get stuck behind the wrong driver, though, because there could be somebody who's maybe a novice, and then they're taking the wrong lines, and they might be holding you up. So initially, first lap, take it slow for your own reference. Acclimatize yourself to the new layout. It'll help to do a visual preparation by looking at a track map, and then try and follow some more experienced drivers.
Okay. Okay.
When are you planning to do this layout?
This one's so on Thursday evening.
Oh, amazing! Soon. Yeah. All the best with that. Let me know how it goes. I'm looking forward to hearing your experience with this new line.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, Noor. You can stay on the live call, or you can follow on the live meet. And we're just gonna take some questions from chat. So we had Jibril. Jibril, he joined the academy, I believe. Yeah, I admitted him. I've also just admitted Sunny. Let me just go back to the YouTube chat as well in a second. Jibril's asking, I asked this question before, the one you spoke about on YouTube. I don't know if it get posted. You were asking about, so can you neutral steer or not, brake release, turn, accelerate? We covered that, Jibril. So you were basically JJ on the live chat. We've got race pace asking, how can I join the call? So that's Sunny, actually. Sunny, I've just admitted you. You filled out the link over there. And you're asking how to improve at indoor karting. That's a great question. Indoor karting is really depend on two things. Are you using petrol karts? Are you using electric karts? And what is the track surface you're using? Now, if you're using, well, generally on indoor tracks, you can slide a lot more than normal because the track surface allows for that. Whereas on outdoor tracks, you want to be very, very smooth and, minimal sliding. Indoor tracks, a lot of them you can actually slide and gain time due to the nature of the surface. That's just going to be, that's almost a prerequisite of indoor karting. You have to expect to slide. But then, of course, there's those limits, how much you slide and things like that, going over the limit. going under the limit, things like that. Would love to know if you're driving petrol karts or electric karts and what kind of surface it is. We got Isabel saying, I'm French. Do you talk French? Unfortunately, I don't speak French. JJ is asking, how do I know if my kart is fast enough or not? I guess based on different sessions you do, take a look at the different timings. So take a different kart. Let's say you do 5 sessions. Took a different kart in each session. Compare the lap times. And make sure you stayed on the same line in all those sessions. If there's 2 tenths within the first couple of races and then 5 tenths off in the last race, you know that you've obviously got a slower kart. He's saying for neutral steer, you see, for neutral steer, that's actually a driving style. So you've got to almost steer with the pedals. The more you press the brakes, the more the kart will turn, and then you'll get into that neutral steer motion, if it were. If you're too smooth and it's a left-hand corner and you're smoothly turning left, and it's a right-hand corner, you're smoothly turning right and holding right-hand steering, you're probably not using the pedals enough. Try and initiate oversteer. So oversteer can be initiated through a sharp turning and with hard braking. That's regardless if it's a fast kart or a slow kart. We have Abdullah. What's up, Abdullah? Welcome back.
Hello everyone. How are you guys?
How are you,
Ahlan.
Abdullah?
Alhamdulillah, what about you?
Alhamdulillah, oh good, oh good. Actually, I was just remembering you the other day. There was a Omani driver who was at the track.
Who?
Abdullah Al-Khater. Do you know Abdullah?
Alhamdulillah, Al-Fatah. Maybe, I guess.
He comes occasionally. Yeah.
Mm.
I think his mother is Omani, so he's in and out of that, and he does karting at the Muscat Speedway.
Muscat Speedway.
How's it going with you these days?
Alhamdulillah, as I said before, I started taking karting seriously, so I bought a kart.
You did, mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah.
And which one did you get?
Footage. The Rotax Senior.
Rotax Senior, wow.
Yeah.
And you're saying you have some footage?
Yeah, I guess, but let me search for it. Give me a bit.
If you put it on a YouTube link and share it, we're going to come back to that. We've got Saad who's got some footage he wants to go through. Then we'll come to you, inshallah, right?
Okay.
After that.
Okay.
Yeah, I also got some
Kareem.
Some new footage.
Kareem, go for it. Be sure to share a link to it. You manage to
share it right now.
Yeah, if you can put it on the Google Meet or the Academy page, that'll be fine. What's up, Stevie? Welcome back.
All right. Are you better than yourself?
Very well, thank you. You know, I missed you last week. I think you joined towards the end, and then we were ending the session. I didn't get a chance to catch up with how your kart's going.
It's going fine. I've had the engine rebuilt at PFI.
Amazing.
Cartoon. So this week I'm going to Brighton Park, and we're going to fit the seat.
Wow. That's nearly there then. That's nearly complete.
I think it's about 95% there.
Yeah. You got the seat?
Yeah.
That's one of the most important parts.
Yeah. Somebody gave me a second-hand seat. I've reglassed it, and it's ready for fitting. I'm just waiting for the screws and what have you to turn up, and then we'll take it from there.
I'd love to see some photos of the seat fitting if you get a chance.
I will do, yeah.
You know, the seat fit, just make sure you're quite planted. There's not much gaps in there when you sit, because it can get painful in older karts. You almost want the seat to mold around your body, and then if it's painful and there's stuff like poking into your body, then even put some foam on the insides. I know some drivers do that just for comfort, because especially when you get out on track and you start cornering, it gets a bit painful. So
this one fits me like a glove.
Oh, beautiful. Then that's going to be...
I put it on the bed. I put it on my bed and tried it.
Yeah.
And I put the driving suit on and everything. And it got to be shoehorned into it.
Wow.
So it's looking good.
Let us know how it goes, Stevie. We're looking forward to hearing that. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss?
No, not really. I want to know about S-Bends.
S-Bends, specifically at Blyton Park?
Yeah. Well, no, it's at Woodthorpe.
Okay. So Woodthorpe, I'm sure somebody submitted some footage of that. Woodthorpe. Karting, right? Woodthorpe Karting.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Karting.
Let's just quickly share my screen. Saad, did you manage to share the link for the YouTube?
Hey, yeah, I posted the link.
Amazing. I'm going to quickly go through this with Stevie, then we'll come to you, all right? Woodthorpe, Stevie, is... I just remembered the track. This is it, of course. Good old Woodthorpe. The S-Bend you're talking about is...
That's one. That's it. You've got it.
This is one of them. And then there's also
that's
this
the
portion
bus
here.
stop. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of... yeah, this sequence over here. Have you driven it before? Have you seen other drivers go through this section?
Yeah, I've sat on the there's a little mound there, and I've sat on that mound and watched them go through it. You can only see a portion of it because that building's in the way. You can see the mound there.
Yeah. This one, right?
That's as close. The mound is the closest you can get to it.
And is it this direction they go in, or this direction?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Whenever you have a S-Bend like this, think about 3 points. You have your entry, you'll have your apex, and you'll have your exit. Zoom out. It's always important to look what comes after the exit. And fortunately for you, you have a long straight.
It's a long straight.
Yeah. So generally, you want to be back out wide, basically over here. Now, the main thing is, did you observe? I mean, some of the drivers are probably braking for this portion.
Yes, they seem to brake on the other side. They attack it from the other side. There's
okay.
If you go to the first corner.
Yeah.
The first corner on the right hand side of that's a pavement, and there's a pavement on the left hand side when you get round it.
This is the pavement, if I'm not mistaken.
No, move up.
Okay. Let's just put it in full screen so we have better.
They seem to break there. And the first bend on that corner, there's a bit of a pavement there. Yeah. There's a bit of a pavement. And when you get into the corner further up, there's a little bit of a pavement there, and you can see the pavement there.
Wow. Okay. So it's not even a proper curb.
No.
Yeah, gotcha. Woodthorpe Kart Club. Let's just get some onboard footage of that real quick. There's lots of videos actually. I think this should be it. Yeah. Give it a second, guys.
I have been binge watching the way they attack it. I've watched it much.
This is it, right?
I can't get it right. Yeah, that's it.
This was the chicane,
I watched it
basically.
Yeah. That's the first pavement. Oh, Bambino's cheese magic.
This is what we're talking about. Okay. Right? We're approaching the chicane.
Yeah, you're coming up to the chicane now.
You got that building on the right side.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. So they take the opposite entry. So they're staying tight. They ride this inside portion.
Yeah,
They
ride the
they're
second one,
beautiful.
and they ride
And-
that one, and it's straight.
Yeah, that's all. See, this is why the onboard footage is important for context. So the nature of the layout means they can brake hard in a straight line. A sharp turn in for the first part, you can see his steering wheel. He's having to turn in just to mount this inside curb over here. You can see he's full lock to the right, his tires to the right. But then he can just straighten up on exit, flick it to the left as well, and get out straight. This looks like a JDR team, Jack Dex Racing, one of the top teams in UK. He's probably doing some driver coaching there as well. That's Jack probably in front in 26. And the way that they're attacking this is the path of least meters. So enter it from the inside, brake hard in a straight line, sharp turn to the right, so ride that first apex on the right, and then continue to the middle part of the corner in a straight line, and then to the exit over here, and then head back out. So that is actually one of the quickest ways to do the S-bend at Woodthorpe. Now, the main thing is over here, the braking and first turning point. And that was a good clip we saw there. If you look at the drive-in over here, so he's entering the corner. His left foot is firmly on the brakes. And wow, that's very interesting. So let's just watch the footwork there. One more time. Right foot firmly on the gas pedal. We'll slow it down even more so we can analyze frame by frame. Right foot is now released and is hard braking. Yep. So it's a hard brake relatively early. You can see how he's keeping his steering wheel neutral. So it's a hard brake. He's getting that rear end to step out, but not that much. Keep watching his feet though. Still on the brakes, still on the brakes. He's bleeding off the brakes now. And look at that, the transition. Back onto the gas. So actually, he's starting the turning and the acceleration just before the apex, which is very interesting. He's not actually braking all the way into the corner. What that allows him to do is be aggressive for the first curb. He mounts this right-hand side. And then, just one more time, just watch his right foot. He's on the gas. He releases. I'm not sure how clear that is. I think he releases off the gas slightly over here. And then he lays his foot back down. If you look over here, boom, he's full on the gas now. You see the pressure. And he's able to ride this middle curb. And then he jumps over this. And now that's important as well. Curbs like this generally will be fine with your chassis. You need to make sure there's enough room between your seat and the floor or the track. You don't want it to scrape and then damage the underside of your chassis. Just listen out. Actually, you'll hear that scraping noise.
I'm thinking about putting some curb riders on the chassis.
That would be a good idea. That would definitely be a good idea. And then play around with it. So is Woodthorpe your main track now?
Well, it's going to be, yeah.
Excellent. So focus on the characteristics of this track. It's not very,
They're all right-hand turns. Well, the relative majority of right-hand turns, and lots of straights.
Excellent.
So I'm thinking about a 12.5 Rotax carb instead of 8.5, which is more for shorter circuits, tighter circuits. I'm thinking that something that's going to be lots of petrol going
in. And have you got easy access to fuel?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a local station there, or you've just got lots of jerry cans?
There's usually a Bowser.
Okay, can't get better than that then.
But you can mix your own fuel up and take it in.
That's important. You get the right ratio.
They're not that strict.
I think these are just open sessions you're doing, though, right? For practice.
Yeah, just practice sessions. I shall practice probably for the forthcoming year.
Yeah.
And then race afterwards. Maybe 26.
Excellent. If you're able to get some footage then of that session that you soon are going to do on track, that'll be great. It'd be good to go over some footage like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll put it up, and then you can take it from there.
That would be awesome, Stevie. Was there anything else before we move on to the next driver?
No, move on. That's really special. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure, Stevie, and of course you're welcome to get more and more questions on and footage, which we're looking forward to. What we're gonna do, guys, let's just take the questions from Sunny and Kareem. What's up, guys?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because I'm 16 this year, and I just started in rental carts. So preferably, I would want to get to GT3 or DTM stuff like that.
Right.
Aims maybe even. So what I'm planning to do is, because right now going into pro karting isn't really a thing I can do for me right now. So I'm planning to go to college in the Netherlands maybe. So with starting pro karting then when I'm 17, 18 in the Netherlands, and then hopefully progressing through them be a good option, or is that even still possible or not really?
Most certainly. The opportunities in Europe are very very high because motorsports is very established there, but it's very much more competitive than other countries, for example. So the standard of owner kart drivers there are really high. There's it's difficult to move out there and expect to break into top 3 on your first race, as it is generally anywhere. Because if you want to start to learn the ropes of owner karting, it starts with almost the grassroots again. You've got to establish practice days. This time you'll hopefully be with some kind of a team who can support you. And then you build your way by doing competitions and things like that. And you've got to spend a good couple of years, I'd say, doing that high level owner kart competitions to then, have a realistic, not even opportunity, but portfolio to approach a DTM team, GT racing team, and say, look, would you consider me doing a test day with you guys? Can I join some kind of race? Because they're not going to allow you to just jump straight into their team with no experience. So owner karting helps a lot. There's a lot of teenagers, especially friends of mine who I've raced with. They've basically done many years of owner karting. There's a driver from Portugal who I know, and he basically managed to secure a test day with one of these GT racing teams. Now, of course, budget comes into that. He had to pay out his own pocket, things like that, and obviously get to know the right people to get those opportunities. But because he did those solid years of owner karting, they were happy to trust him to sort of do a test day.
Yeah, and another thing, does hopping in a karting sim actually help or not really?
I think generally sim helps with things like building consistency, getting track time. Let's say the track you race at is on the sim, and doing, I'd say, long endurance sessions. So problem in real life is the more driving you want to do, the more you have to pay for it. With the sim, you can get rid of that aspect, but then you've got to remember the risk reward element is different. So in a real life race, let's say you're doing an endurance rental kart race, you're 1 hour in, you're feeling a bit fatigued, and then suddenly, your arms are tired, you get a lapse in concentration. You're going to be, the chances of crashing the kart and things are a lot higher in real life. Whereas in the game, crashing out, you can just hit the reset button, the flashback button. It's not an issue. That's the only negative side on the sim, the risk reward aspect. You can't train that as much. Whereas in a real race, the moment you make a mistake, it's over. You know, you've lost time, you lost position, things like that. But I'd encourage you, if you have a sim, use it for consistency, use it for learning new tracks. Sim is always a great resource.
Yeah, and also, I know that there's also like other series that is not karting, like the KTips series, I think.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Would you
I've heard of
recommend maybe
KTips.
doing stuff like that, or like
Those are
just
all
stick?
absolutely. You see, there's also Clio Cup. This is hosted by Renault.
Yeah, Clio Cup is amazing.
And they have that in
It's
Dubai,
really
right?
nice. Yeah,
They
there
run it
is.
at
Yeah,
Autodrome.
yeah, I've
A
heard
lot
them
of
at their track
karting
as
drivers
Autodrome when
just
they run. They're amazing.
These are great ways to learn racecraft, because at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. You learn racecraft, and the only difference is when you go into higher categories is the speed and, you know, some small things on the driving style. But that's what you're trying to establish. Karting allows for that because it's very competitive, and you know the speeds in karting are also reasonable. Caterham, if you have the opportunity to go for it, Clio Cup as well is a great option too. Just adds to
Yeah, I
your
have some footage
portfolio.
actually that we can look at right now. I did
You
some
know,
really nice overtakes. So
I really want to go through that. I'm afraid I'm running track help on 2 laptops over here, and I'm having to switch the charger between each of them. And we've come to the end of the life on both. We're at 11%. So
yeah, next
guys,
week is fine.
I'm afraid this might cut out at any time. I don't want it to cut off abruptly, but this is just a warning. It looks like we're gonna have to save Saad's footage, Abdullah's footage, Kareem's footage for next week. Don't worry, we're gonna have time for that, and obviously I'll be at my proper setup then. Not to worry. Any final questions before we round off today's session? I know we had Sunny. What's up, Sunny? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Well, welcome, Sunny. Where are you joining us from?
So I'm from London and I drive indoors in Team Sport Acton.
Ah, amazing. Do you know Guy Williams from Acton?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you do, is it Race Academy there?
Yeah, I do Race Academy there.
Is he your coach?
Sometimes, but I mostly have someone else.
Awesome.
Can I ask?
Welcome to Track Help. Be sure you can get into some questions as long as this live stream gets going. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
If I cut up unexpectedly, you know my battery ran out.
Yeah, that's all right. So when I start sessions, my first session is pretty slow, and I know the reason for it is because of track temperature, or no one's been there before me, obviously, because indoors it's quite hard. So I want to know, like, how do I heat up tires efficiently and quickly?
Great question. You know, in indoor karting, it's always the problem that you're going to face. And I'm just actually bringing a flying lap up there. You see, what time do you normally drive?
23:01. In the morning, sorry.
Time of day. Is it your first
9
session?
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock. So you'll be the first one out, right?
There's a few before me, but mostly
In rental karts, the tires are a hard compound. You can see over here. We've got some footage of action. Hard compound tires very difficult to warm up generally.
Definitely.
So things like excessive sliding, really hard braking, really making the tires screech, weaving left and right, it might make some difference. What you can do is maybe do that for a lap or so. So zigzagging, hard brakes, drifting intentionally, and then just get onto your line and start driving. It's just the nature of these compounded tires. They're just very difficult to warm up compared to a different tire, which again, owner karts, for example, which are softer compound, and they're very easy to destroy. You know, the moment you start doing that aggressive zigzagging, you're going to flat spot the tire. So here, I'd say do all that kind of stuff for a lap, get onto your line and just drive. What does help though to get temperature on the track is having other drivers. So the more karts they can be with you on track, the quicker the track will generally warm up, because everybody's going to be on a similar line. And I think if you're doing race academy and things like that, then it's easy because people know the line. People are quite competitive anyway, and within session 2 and 3, that's where the timings will get faster and faster. Session 1 is a warm up. I have no expectations for the timing and things like that. So that's really the best way.
I got another question. So
go for it.
Let's say there's a faster driver ahead of me, or behind me. I'll let them pass, but I just struggle to stay in their line.
Okay.
I don't know if it's actually me or the kart, because they'll just fly away, I guess.
So you're saying you're struggling to keep up?
Yeah, when there's a fast kart behind me. I mean, ahead of me. Sorry.
Okay, got you. So there's someone in front of you. It's difficult to keep up with them, right?
Yeah, especially in this track. Yeah.
Where do you look when the driver's in front?
To be honest, I'm like almost looking at the back of their car all the time, because when they brake, you see the flashing light come out. So I'm like, okay, I got to brake there, but maybe brake a little later or a bit wider. Is that the right way to approach it, or is there another way?
That's the distraction when you're driving with someone, especially at a track like this where the carts have got those back brake lights. What you'll end up doing is looking at almost the wrong thing. So yes, you need to be aware of the distance to the driver in front. You need to be aware of where they're braking in relation to you, but try to keep things as normal as possible. So you got to, it's easier said than done. Think about, I'm doing a qualifying lap. Somebody in front of me just doesn't exist. Make sure they're sort of out your field of view. And things like the brake lights and things, those are unnecessary things to look at. The distractions. They'll help. They'll actually shift your natural braking point. Try to drive more on feeling, and just use the driver in front as place where you should preferably position your car, and then also maybe take certain apexes and things like that.
You're right. Thank you. I have footage if you want to.
Absolutely. We'd love to go through some footage.
Yeah.
What I recommend, now you're part of the academy, wait for next week's post.
Yeah. All right.
It's going to come on. What we're going to do is call it a wrap for today's session. But next week, 6 p.m. GMT, everyone's going to get a chance to go through their footage.
All right.
Looking forward to catching up then, Sunny.
Yeah. Thank you very
Abdullah,
much.
It's been a pleasure, Sunny. Abdullah and Saad, I'm really sorry, guys, but this laptop's going to die. I think we've already lost connection from one of the sides. Abdullah, if you can share your link on the new post which is coming up, same with Saad as well. And
yeah, I think it's going to be better for me anyways, because it's going to be my racing, not the others.
That'll be awesome.
So, yeah.
Abdullah, in the meantime, I've just kept a record of your links. So I'm going to analyze the footage myself and go over some key things to note for next time. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that was my first run on the Rotax. Yeah. So
are you going to do any racing maybe in time for next week? Are you going to go out on track? Yeah. Awesome. If you have some more footage as well, be sure to share that. We'll have more time to go through it for next week. It's been a pleasure, guys. I don't want this to die. Let's quickly do the outro. It's been a really, really great session. Had people from all over joining today. And this makeshift setup on the go did work out successfully. We keep the track help going. That's the main thing, whether it's Sunday or not. We're going to have hopefully a Saturday morning session for the Southeast Asian viewers. So if you're from Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, India, you will have a chance to submit your footage. It's not going to be at the early hours in the morning. But until next week, guys, we will see you then. Take care. Good night.
Good night.